Braden Nurse with the Denver Post. Emma, last time you were here, the summit wasn't even summit yet, but now you've seen the city's response to the summit, women's soccer in particular. You've seen the kickoff with 63,000 fans. Just what has been your reaction to the reception of this city to domestic women's soccer?
I remember watching the game at home and thinking this is just another extraordinary moment for women's soccer. And look, of course, I have such fond memories of this place. This is my first game. And I've said this so many times, I remember being so nervous. Like, you don't know how you're going to be received as a new coach. And I just, literally and figuratively, it was so hot out there. I remember the heat and walking out and thinking, God, what this is how I want soccer to feel in this country. And so, of no surprise, the Summit have started the season brightly, both on and off the field. I'm staying in Denver for the next week and going to the Summit game next weekend against San Diego. And I'm actually going to explore the area a little more. Every time I come here, I want to see a little more. But then I found out all the ski windows of all the mountains are shut today, and my son's never seen snow before, and I've been desperate to take him sledging somewhere this week. But other than that, I'm gonna be in Denver and really get to experience the Summit next weekend, because I think it's an amazing club and an amazing start to the NWSL.
Let's go up here. Just either one, then they can pass it. Yep.
Emma, there's been a considerable amount of weight based on maybe the evaluation of young talent on the roster and getting to compete against one of the top national teams in the world. That said, having split the first two games, is there something for you to be said with ending this series on a high note?
I mean, it's set up nicely, right? So, coaches want this situation, players want this situation, jeopardy at stake. So, yeah, of course, we want to win the game. And as I made loose reference to being Michelin star chefs, I've spent time with our team today explaining that having a menu of extraordinary value with a recipe book behind it is not as easy to put together as we think, right? And so as I explained to the squad, if we keep developing how to improve those appetizers, that main meal, that dessert option, the service that wraps around that, when we train, when we're together, we do that without a restaurant present, 200 guests. When we play Japan in both games, it's a packed house. And so service has got to be spot on. Everything from presentation, tone, delivery, texture, quality of ingredients. I think when you don't look at outcome and you obsess over process alongside, are we making progress 18 months out from a major tournament? That's what my job is to do. So, do I think I saw some things that improved from game 1 to game 2? Yes. Are there clear work-ons? Yes. Is the standard and expectation high for tomorrow? Yeah, absolutely. But get one day closer to it. That's all I ask. Get one day closer to what we're looking to achieve.
Pass that turn. Yep. We'll go there.
Emma, to extend your analogy there, have you thought about in Game 3 who's going to man the front of house and back of house, specifically with a potential snow and cold spike in the forecast?
Love that. That's why we have positioned through an entirely female lens the environmental conditions that are required. Whether that's our players coming into altitude, whether it's going through temperature changes today to tomorrow. I assume that if snow does come down, then my bus driver told me that they said that already plenty of times this year in Denver, and only 8 inches came down. So, not to panic with it, but being adaptable is the mode of the game. So we have to be if that becomes the case, and I'm sure we will be. We have back of house, the team behind the team that are well orchestrated and positioned to support players and staff to manage those things. unless, of course, they call it off.
Great. Thank you.
Staying out.
Thank you, Aaron. John Babiak with the Burgundy Wave. Welcome back to Commerce
for
City
having me.
and Denver. Asking you to be a momentary visionary, what impact do you believe Lindsay will have upon her return in July on the league?
Oh, wow. I mean, bringing the US women's national team captain back from a top European team to a home market where mum and dad get to watch her play, which I know she's so excited about, as well as demonstrate that players are choosing to come to the NWSL. Yes, there's a more competitive marketplace and the financial parameters are more in line with what the top players earn in Europe. So that's a win for the NWSL. I think she will bring a level of professionalism with years of being a top pro. Lindsay's no passenger ever. She is so ultra competitive. She will want to drive that team as a leader in the way that she does every day. She lives and breathes those behaviours. And we've sat down this week in her own 360 meetings to discuss, you know, how to get ready for that and what support she needs for that. And I think it will bring another level out of her, and that's what I think we're all excited about, is look, this is another challenge in your career. Embrace it and let's get everything right, because Trin always makes fun of me when I say this. I'm like, come in and raise the roof, and Trin always says to me, there aren't any roofs in the stadiums, Emma, but you get the point. I think she will lift the league and the sport up in this country by returning home. Welcome.
Right there.
Hi, I'm Miki Nabet of Kyoto News from Japan. I imagine you've been watching Japanese player closely ever since you were working in England. But after these two matches, what do you think are the strengths of the Japanese players and the team as a whole?
I mean, first off, when you talk about Japan from a traditional perspective, players are extremely technical and positionally, and their positional play model has been developed from very early ages. And I think traditionally against the United States, you would see Japan dominant in possession, United States dominant in counter-attack. I think the roles have reversed. And I think by that, I think defensively, I think Japan are the best team in the world. I think the compact 4-4-2, the way they back press together, the way they read the triggers to do those things, the way they defend the box, exceptional. And I think sometimes we get caught in like maybe that traditional bias, Japan, highly technical, highly tactical. Yes, they are that. But in order to win the biggest trophies, you better be defensively robust. And I think Japan, from a menu perspective, as a coach watching it, I think they're the best team in the world at doing all of those things, which is why if you go 1-0 down to Japan, you have to work so hard to get a goal. And I'm full of respect for your country, because you produce teams with so much versatility and flexibility, but always with the aim to win. One of my favourite teams.
Let's go online to Jeff Kassouf. Go ahead, Jeff.